funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
A new affordable housing complex in downtown San Diego officially opened its doors today. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Carroll in for Maya Trabulsi. As KPBS reporter Alexander Nguyen shows us, it was an emotional day for one of the formerly homeless residents.
This looks so beautiful.
This is Isabel Fuentes' one-bedroom apartment. It's small but cozy with donated furniture. The apartment is decorated with artwork she painted herself. When she moved in, all she had were her clothes.
I felt excited and I couldn't believe it. Yeah, but I was, on the way I was crying because I couldn't believe it. I was still like, am I dreaming?
The 88-unit complex is in Cortez Hill. It was the site of a women's shelter and before that, a hotel. The shelter fell into disrepair and was closed more than 2 years ago.
There are fewer priorities higher for me than housing and housing affordability.
San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria says he and other downtown residents wanted to see this project come to fruition.
We have an incredible downtown community who understands that all of us have to be a solution to the housing crisis.
The nonprofit Community Housing Works developed the building. Sean Spear is the president and CEO. He says projects like these are homeless prevention.
So by being able to provide these residents with not only a roof over their heads, but also a deep level of services being brought alongside that, the hope is that we will create a stabilized community for them.
The complex has 14 units reserved for formerly homeless individuals. The rest are going to households earning less than 25% of the area's median income. All 88 units are already occupied. Tyler Renner is with people assisting the homeless or PATH. He says that shows the critical need for affordable housing.
We need more affordable housing to make sure that we can allow for people to move up the pipeline into housing opportunities.
When residents moved in, they are given basic furniture, and then they are partnered with community groups like Humble Design to decorate the place to make it feel more like home. To qualify for a home here, people need to enroll with a service provider, such as the Housing Commission, to be added to the waiting list. Fuentes was on the waiting list for 6 years before moving in.
The view was, at night is beautiful, the colors, the rainbow colors.
Alexander Nguyen, KPBS News.
New data show ICE deported nearly 16,400 people from San Diego and Imperial County detention facilities in President Donald Trump's second term. That comes from a letter ICE sent to the San Diego congressional delegation. KPBS reporter Elaine Alfaro has more on the numbers.
The data show impact on communities. ICE agents arrested nearly 10,500 people in the two counties between January 2025 and April. More than 1,400 of these arrests were in or near sensitive locations, including schools, churches, and hospitals. ICE released these numbers in April after congressional representatives Scott Peters, Mike Levin, Sarah Jacobs, and Juan Vargas sent a letter last July asking for transparency on ICE's tactics and operation. Here's Peters.
It's very clear once again that this effort is not what Trump promised, which was to get rid of the worst of the worst.
The representatives asked how many detained and deported individuals did not have a violent criminal record. That question remains unanswered.
There's a reason that they didn't give it to us. If they had been just deporting felons, that would have been the first sentence in the letter. Of course they're not. They're deporting everybody.
Peters said he doesn't expect answers unless and until Democrats win the majority in the House of Representatives this fall.
And at that point, I think we'll have more tools to do oversight, which I hope will be respectful, but will be pointed, and we'll really be able to find out for ourselves and for the public what's really happening with this program.
ICE did not respond to questions from KPBS. Elaine Alfaro, KPBS News.
Transit riders in San Diego may soon be asked to pay more to ride a bus or trolley. The Metropolitan Transit System Board voted to recommend fare increases last month. KPBS Public Matters reporter Jake Gatta tells us this might not be the long-term solution the agency needs.
MTS is facing a significant budget deficit. According to the agency, there's a $500 million gap over the next 4 years. They plan to cover most of that with a mix of one-time state funding, partnership opportunities, and a transfer from the capital fund that's typically meant for long-term infrastructure. But they're still about $90 million short, and the agency wants to make up a chunk of that with increased fares on buses and trolleys. The MTS board is recommending fares up to 40% higher, with one-way rides increasing from $250 to $325. The agency says this will bring in an additional $9 million in the first year and $14 million the second. But not everybody is on board with this plan.
I just, again, want to make sure that before we ask riders who are already oftentimes working 2 or 3 jobs, who are stretched thin, to pay a cent more, that we've absolutely done everything in our power to bring in revenue other ways.
City Council member Sean Elo Rivera sits on the MTS board. He voted against the fare increase, saying it unfairly burdens lower-income riders who depend on the system. And he says there should be other ways to make up the difference.
I think that there is broad support for having the wealthy pay more of their fair share. There's broad support for having tourists pay more to pay for their impacts here. And that's a very different thing than asking everyday people.
The transit rider Arian Shaw told KPBS that he would prefer to pay a bit more over losing service.
I mean, if they cut down service on the trolleys, then nobody will be able to get around at certain times and stuff. So honestly, I say raise it because I know half the people don't pay.
That's also one of the problems facing MTS. It's not half, but the agency says more than 37% of riders were not paying their fares last year. In 2024, they made a $4.2 million investment to improve security and hire more fare compliance officers. And in February of 2025, MTS changed its policy to immediately cite non-paying riders. Previously, MTS policy allowed those riders to pay the fare when caught, without an extra fine. MTS says fare evasion was costing them $1 million a month before that change. But the extra security and policy change has only had limited impacts. MTS said in the year since, evasion rates have dropped 11%, and more than 1/3 of riders are still not paying. While fare collection increased, the agency said the additional revenue was roughly $4.9 million annually, well short of $1 million per month they said fare evasion can cost.
This raises a key question. Why don't the trolley platforms have fare gates?
Gates, or turnstiles that only open after a fare is paid, are common on many other American transit systems. But the San Diego Trolley's first line was built along freight tracks between downtown and the border, with limited space available for larger platforms. With the agency's financial struggles, however, and high evasion rates, Elo Rivera is advocating for building gates at all the platforms. MTS said it would be difficult and expensive to install fare gates at many of the stations, particularly downtown. At the 5th Avenue station on C Street, local transit advocate Leif Genzer from Ride SD explained some of the obstacles.
You would have to raise these walls, you would have to put the fare gates here, and people could still walk in there, so you would have to have some doors that are closed when the trolley is not coming. So there's all of these challenges that fare gates present.
But Elo Rivera believes these obstacles are surmountable.
Some of these things might be complicated. I think MTS has some very smart people who can problem solve. I think that if folks are operating underground transportation systems, we can figure out how to create a closed system above ground.
When Bay Area Rapid Transit installed better fare gates, revenue increased by $10 million annually, and crime and maintenance hours are both down. Gensert said that upfront costs in San Diego would be a problem.
Will it eventually pay out again? That's something to be seen. But if we don't have the money to pay for it up front, it's a moot point.
MTS says they're studying the feasibility and cost of installing fare gates. Elo Rivera says MTS should pursue state funding sources like BART has, and that could be an avenue to pay for fare gates. Ultimately, it will take a variety of solutions to deal with MTS's budget problem. Even if 100% of riders paid, MTS said they would still face a deficit. But Elo Rivera says fare gates could be a long-term fix that helps prevent future fare increases.
all of that comes back to fairness for the working families in San Diego who depend on transit, are paying what they're supposed to be paying, and are now being asked to pay more.
Jake Gata, KPBS News.
Social media is back on trial in what's being viewed as a landmark legal fight against Meta. The state of New Mexico is beginning a new phase in its case against the parent company of Facebook and Instagram. Lee Waldman tells us more about the changes prosecutors are looking to impose.
To a certain extent, phase two could be even more consequential in our fight to hold this tech giant accountable.
After a jury found in March that Meta violated New Mexico law by failing to warn users about the dangers of its platforms and protect children from sexual predators, State Attorney General Raul Torres is now asking a judge to decide if Meta's platforms, like Facebook and WhatsApp, pose a public nuisance.
That's a case that involves damages to the entire community, which New Mexico is saying is in the billions of dollars.
$3.7 billion to be exact, according to documents filed by Meta. Law professor Adam Zimmerman says this definition of public nuisance has been used before in cases that impact public health, such as tobacco, opioids, and even climate change. But he believes this case is unique.
We're talking about the modern electronic superhighway and how that's regulated.
New Mexico's AG is asking for a sweeping list of changes he says are related to alleged psychological harm, including limits on addictive design features, algorithm recommendation changes, and improvements to age verification.
Real age verification is what allows the platform to curate a different type of experience for young people and make sure they're safer online.
The bench trial is expected to last 3 weeks. In New York, I'm Lee Waldman.
KPBS has extensive coverage on the challenges around raising kids in the age of smartphones. Much of it is in our special series, Screen Time. It's available as a podcast at kpbs.org or wherever you get your podcasts. The Escondido Public Library was supposed to be back home by March, but that deadline has come and gone. The library is still operating out of a temporary space in the mall as the renovation continues. Our media partner KGTV spoke to Escondido Library Director Reno Landa, who says progress is being made.
We're at the point of carpeting being installed, lighting being installed, final touches, final changes as we find in complete areas. The main work that's left to be done is going to be exterior of the building.
That includes a solar panel project in the parking lot. The Escondido Library is now expected to open in August.
Well, we have some relatively comfortable weather at night, but the heat is building. And by Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we'll be scorching with triple-digit heat in the deserts. 51 tonight in Ramona. We'll be dealing with some patchy clouds near the coast, mainly clear skies inland. Relatively warm tonight into Borrego Springs. Looking ahead, here we have an extreme heat watch for the interior, for the inland deserts there. It begins Sunday morning, continuing through Tuesday. We'll talk about how high we go with those temps coming up.
This is Missing and Murdered Indigenous Peoples Week across the country. Here in California, local law enforcement is part of a new agreement to improve how it handles those cases. The San Diego Sheriff's Office shared these photos from Wednesday's ceremony in Sacramento. That's where Sheriff Kelly Martinez, District Attorney Summer Stephan, and others signed a memorandum of understanding with tribal leaders. The memo outlines improvements for reporting cases, sharing data, and rapid response procedures. San Diego County is home to 18 federally recognized Native tribes, the most in the United States. Being a journalist has many challenges, but our colleagues just across the border face a unique set of obstacles. KPBS video journalist Matthew Bowler spent the day chasing down leads with a few of Tijuana's best journalists.
Me encanta mi trabajo a pesar de todas las situaciones que a veces uno pasa.
That's Giovanni Urenda. He's a general assignment reporter at the El Sol de Tijuana newspaper. We met up with him on a cool morning before his first of 3 assignments. He's from Tijuana.
Tijuana es una ciudad de oportunidades. Actualmente estamos pasando una situación económica difícil, todo México, y se nota aquí en Tijuana, pero tiene sus partes buenas, sus partes nobles Tijuana. Tijuana siempre ha estado recibiendo a quien llegue.
We follow Urenda upstairs to his newsroom.
Adelante, adelante.
Gracias. He sits at his desk and starts to bang away on his keyboard. He's the first one in today. His desk has Lucha Libre figurines and a New England Patriots souvenir helmet. He showed me the filing cabinet with memorial stickers for Margarito Martinez and Lourdes Maldonado. The two Tijuana journalists were murdered less than a week apart in 2022.
¿Conoces Margarito y Lourdes?
No los conocí.
No.
No los conocí. Cuando ellos fueron asesinados, yo llevaba 7 meses de reportero.
According to Reporters Without Borders, 2 journalists have been killed in Mexico so far this year. In the first 6 months of 2025, 8 journalists were killed.
I began in 1985, and by 1988, I was aware of my first colleague being killed, Héctor Gato Félix.
That's Vicente Calderon. He's been a journalist in Tijuana since 1985. Héctor Gato Félix helped to found the famous investigative weekly Zeta Tijuana. Calderon's office is filled with journalism awards, books about journalism, and the memorabilia of old stories.
When you see that there's consequences, people think twice. We haven't seen that more often in the recent killings in Mexico and here in Tijuana.
Sí, es aquí.
Back on assignment with Urenda, we pull into the museum hosting a Baja security conference.
Buenos días. Venimos al evento del Comité Ciudadano de Seguridad Pública.
We walk into the Comité Ciudadano de Seguridad Pública de Tijuana, or Tijuana Citizens Public Security Committee meeting. Urenda dives right into questioning the president of the committee.
¿Cuánto tiempo duró su antecesor y por qué es importante estar haciendo este cambio?
Old-fashioned beat reporting, like covering a committee meeting, isn't the only kind of journalism in Tijuana. That's Jobeth Terquez, nicknamed Joe Black. He's a photojournalist specializing in social issues. We met up with him at the migrant shelter Movimiento Juventud 2000. He's known for immersing himself in his work.
I used to sleep in the camp with them, and I do that sometimes.
Time equals access for Terquez, but that comes with its own set of dangers.
If you want to be a journalist or this type of journalist, you got to know that someday, because of what you're doing, something is going to go terribly wrong.
Mexico has a system to protect journalists called the Mecanismo de Protección para Personas Defensoras de Derechos Humanos y Periodistas. In 2019, Tijuana journalist Lourdes Maldonado told the then president of Mexico she feared for her life.
Para pedirle apoyo, ayuda y justicia laboral, porque hasta temo por mi vida.
Maldonado was shot in front of her home on January 23, 2022. She was the second Tijuana journalist killed in less than a week. The first, Margarito Martinez, killed on January 17th of that same year. Since then, Calderon says being a journalist isn't any safer, and there's a new kind of threat on the rise.
Legal harassment or the stigmatization from the government, politicians complaining about journalists being sicarios of the pen. Those things are now making this situation more complicated.
Terquez says his wife has asked him to stop.
My wife, she kind of told me to drop it because I got a lot of threats. She knows that if they kill me, it's because I did something right.
The risks don't stop them. In spite of the threats, Terquez will dodge Tijuana traffic to get a photo. Urenda will question authority.
¿Qué le corresponde a las autoridades y qué le corresponde también a la comunidad?
And through it all, Calderon says there is hope.
When the authorities are not paying attention to their demands, when things are not going according to the law, they call the reporters. And the reporters from Tijuana are answering.
Matthew Bowler, KPBS News.
I'm Amna Nawaz. Tonight on the NewsHour, after President Trump criticized the Pope, Secretary of State Marco Rubio visits the Vatican to try to smooth relations. That's coming up at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
America's 250th anniversary is now less than 2 months away. Part of the celebrations include how people travel the country. Today in Washington, Amtrak played its part by unveiling its Freedom 250 train. Its first trip to Philadelphia included students who are studying civics. The Department of Transportation says more events are planned through the spring and summer months. You can also expect more coverage of America 250 from the KPBS newsroom. Our reporters are working on special features on our shared history and culture. Some of them are already available, including Andrew Dyer's recent series on San Diego's military history. There's more to come on all KPBS platforms. We've seen autonomous cars from Waymo arrive recently in San Diego. In other parts of Southern California, robots are now delivering lunch. Jasmine Veal shows us how one company is using AI on the streets of Glendale.
This is Taurus, yeah, and we just unlock her.
Erica Hernandez's tacos didn't come from a delivery driver Tuesday. It rolled up on the sidewalk in Glendale.
It's easier to access the building. They don't have to worry about parking. Get on the sidewalk, deliver our food. We don't have to wait the extra time for anybody to find the location and the floors.
These cooler-sized delivery robots are part of a growing fleet from Serve Robotics, with now more than 500 of the big-eyed carts zooming around 40 Los Angeles neighborhoods.
Over the course of the last year plus, we've done deliveries from over 170 restaurants in Glendale and done over 17,000 deliveries.
But while customers like Hernandez are all in, the sidewalk robots aren't getting such a warm welcome from everyone at Glendale City Hall.
The robots just appeared one day.
Glendale Mayor Artie Kasakian says he is pushing for a moratorium until the city can better understand the impact and how they operate.
Make sure that ultimately our sidewalks are a priority for our residents and not for robots or other businesses. So we have to think of the city's safety first.
Serve Robotics insists it works with cities before launching, but acknowledges somehow Glendale leaders were caught off guard. Others on the council say so far, so good.
There's nothing wrong with these little delivery carts. It serves a purpose. Everyone's happy. They're not causing accidents. They're not knocking little old ladies into the traffic and getting run over by trucks.
One robot even stopped right next to our interview with Councilmember Ara Najarian.
About 15 feet before it reached me, it did stop, waited for me to move out of the way, continued on its way.
This is one about 15 Serve robots operating right now in the city of Glendale. Serve Robotics says over 99% of their deliveries go off without a hitch. For now, the robots will keep working here, but for how long is still very much up in the air.
This is hopefully a fruitful long-term relationship.
A few weeks ago, San Diego's science community was buzzing with excitement from the Artemis II splashdown off our coast. Now we're getting a look at what the crew saw during their flyby of the moon. My goodness. These are just a few of the 12,000 images released by NASA from the 10-day mission. This is the closest humans have been to the moon since the manned missions of the 60s and 70s. The Artemis mission plans to return humans to the surface of the moon in 2028.
Well, we are in a significant warming trend through the weekend and into early next week, especially across the interior. You're going to find some relief near the coastline, right along the beaches, but triple-digit heat will be surging in the deserts. And we have had some recent rain, even some relatively late-season rain deep into spring recently. None of that in the next 7 days, though. We have a dry spell coming up. Tonight, we'll get down to 60 and increasing clouds. It really does look like we're transitioning to the dry season here pretty decisively with the current pattern. Getting hot in the interior deserts. Very warm for the rest of us here on this Friday. By the numbers, as we look at the details here as we close out the week, 101 at Borrego Springs. Up in the mountains, Mount Laguna looks great, 67. 71, beautiful weather there in San Diego. El Cajon 81, Ramona 83, a little warm into the interior, and a very straightforward, very warm forecast all the way across California and down into San Diego as well. And on Sunday, still more of the same. So Saturday and Sunday maps pretty similar here. A couple of showers up into Colorado, New Mexico, but not for us. We're very warm. That extreme heat watch that I mentioned earlier begins Sunday morning, continuing through Tuesday evening. So Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, very hot in the deserts. And that's where this extreme heat watch is located, inland portions of San Diego County and off to the north into Coachella as well. Again, extreme heat there. It's a big surge of heat Sunday through Tuesday, with worsening drought in some of the drier areas off to the east, records will be challenged, especially to our north. We may not see many records specifically in San Diego or the immediate metro, but other parts of California will see some record highs. And by the numbers, here we are. Again, it's very tolerable along the coastline. We're going to go from 73 to 77. Not bad at all. That looks pretty good. We really benefit from the Pacific. It's like the refrigerator door is open. Going inland here, you're going to get a little warmer, up into the low 80s for a few days in a row. Not far from that on Tuesday. Into the mountains, here we've got elevation under our toes. That's going to help us as well. Again, upper 60s to near 70. Pretty warm, but not bad. Now, the place where we're obviously going to be dealing with some discomfort here will be the desert. We're looking at a few days, 3 of the next 5 at 100 degrees plus. The hottest will probably be Monday with a searing sun and 102 for your high. Overnight lows rise about 10 degrees there from the mid-60s to the mid-70s. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jeff Cornish for KPBS News.
Here's a look at what we're working on for tomorrow in the KPBS newsroom. You know his voice from countless wildlife documentaries. NPR's Morning Edition will have a profile on Sir David Attenborough as he turns 100 years old. And KPBS Roundtable is our weekly show with San Diego's journalists talking about the news of the week. A new episode airs tomorrow at noon. Of course, you can find tonight's stories on our website, which is kpbs.org. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. I'm John Carroll. Do have yourself a great evening.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following: and by viewers like you. Thank you.